Welcome to the Collector's Archive, Season 5, Episode 6.
Are we ready, sir?
We're good. We're good to go, I think.
Fantastic. Good evening, Brad. How are you, sir?
I'm not too bad. Good evening to Ed. Thank you for having me. This is an absolute pleasure. It's nice to be invited on, and it's been something to look forward to for the last couple of weeks because it's been a bit of a we've managed to tie schedules in. And
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. But no, I appreciate you coming on, and I've knowing the the past few weeks that you've had, I'm sure that's been far more exciting than what this will be. But I will try my best. I will try to perform amicably. So, right. Well, what we'll do is then, I'll just, like I said earlier before we started recording, I'm going to go in dry, Brad, and we're going to say, what do you collect?
He forgot again.
He did?
Yes.
Does he need a software update?
He's analog.
Old, but not obsolete.
Well, not yet, anyway.
I suppose we'd better do it for him.
Yes.
You can find Brad on Instagram and YouTube under his username of ExillionXLR.
That will do it.
Time to go.
And leave them to it.
Okay.
What do I collect? Well, over the years, a lot of things.
Yeah.
Star Wars, Gundam, like Micro Machines, to name a few. But my focus that I keep coming back to all the time is Transformers. Mostly kind of the Generations stuff, the modern stuff, like having that kind of like retro G1 collection of modern bots. But I also collect a lot of. One focus that like has never really left is the Japanese Unicron trilogy stuff. That stuff is really kind of nostalgic for me. I like the packaging, I like the boxes, and I like the chunk in the plastic and how big the Transformers were back then. That was definitely something that I can resonate with. Right.
So would that, you'll have to forgive me because I kind of am. When it gets past 1986, I start glazing over.
All good. That would be like
the Unicron trilogy is. I'm assuming is that like Armada and Energon and that kind of stuff.
Exactly that. So yeah, Armada and Energon. I really love like the Japanese versions of that, and Micron Dunsets and Superlink. But what I really loved was the Japanese version of Galaxy Force, Japanese version of Cybertron called Galaxy Force. That was like the real. That was actually like the first. I'll go into it later with one of the later questions. That was the first kind of like dive into a full kind of set of Transformers that I went for, and I loved it. That was, and it was a time where like the Takara stuff was really different to Hasbro stuff. It just felt better and it looked better and it was nicer. The packaging was amazing. It just so much about that stuff I love, and I think a lot of people are kind of catching on to that nowadays because the price of it's gone right up. But yeah, I loved it. That was my jam back in the day.
I think I seem to recall this would have been probably early 2000s. I think it would have been like you had places like Cyber Toys, which I used to buy a few bits and bobs from.
Tripitaka was the one I used to use as well. Tripitaka Toys was an older shop then. And
I can remember seeing, the differences between the packaging. Of the US UK releases and the Japanese releases, and I'll have to admit, I always thought that there was something a bit more. They just looked a bit more special. Did the Japanese packaging? There was just it was like it felt kind of like cool because if I picked up the e-hobby stuff, like the reissues or things like that, or like the Takara store specials and stuff, and you get them shipped over and you'd be holding it, you think, I've got this come from Japan, this is awesome. But then if you're getting something that's in that Japanese style packaging, I can imagine it just making it that bit more special, you're thinking, I've got, this has come from Japan, this is Japanese, kind of thing,
extra bit of presentation, and then like if anyone ever saw it, it's that extra. Not that I display it for anyone else ever. I'd display stuff for myself, but if anyone ever saw it, they'd be like, "Oh, why is the box in Japanese? Is that like from Japan?" It gives you that extra like little entrance into talk about it. Like, I got that from Japan. Like that's the kind of the Japanese version. Then you talk to them about the differences. Before you know it, you've bored them to death. But I just love the Japanese packaging. It's not anymore what it used to be, through the like the 2009, 2010 when we had like Henke as well, the Henke version of Classics and Universe. I think that was those were like vastly different if you knew what to look for, you know, if you're a collector, to the Hasbro stuff as well. But now it's kind of a bit of, you know, there's not any difference at all in the Hasbro and Takara stuff. I recently bought a Japanese 86 Springer, and just because it was the one I could find online from HLJ, and it wasn't any different at all. There's nothing unique about it compared to a Hasbro one. But yeah, definitely, I think back in the day there was this huge difference that I kind of miss, and at the same time it's less of an inconvenience to try and obtain it now. It's just there's no difference, so there's no point. And that's kind of like this thing as well. But yeah, I've got like, so I did pick up one as an example. That's there we go. So that's the Nitro Convoy, who is Override from Cybertron. That's the Jap. Obviously, it would come on a blister pack in the UK, and that's the Japanese packaging version, like the side planet key in the front, and how that survived so many years. It's lovely, like it's gorgeous. How it survived this many years in this good a condition, I don't know, but yeah, that's been through a couple of house moves, and I must have had that about 20 years now. Right, yeah, beautiful, love it. I can't get enough of it. Yeah.
Why do you collect them, Brad? What motivated you to do it, and you know, have you going forward have any particular goals that you want to achieve from it?
I think goals wise, if I can start on the goals thing, like I can pick like a really pivotal point with the goals thing. And going back to the Galaxy Force stuff, I managed to get a whole screen set of Galaxy Force, so everything that appeared in the show, I got in either Japanese packaging or I got like loose. So I had everything like in a cabinet, and I very quickly lost interest. Like I once it was done, it was like I realized that I just kind of like the chase. Right. It's easy to drop like, you know, 200 quid on a toy that you need to finish a set or something like that. But I think once I started selling that off again, and I was like, I'm kind of done with that now. A couple of years later, I found, I can't remember what toy it was, online for a bit cheap, like a decent price, picked it up, and that kind of brought me back in again. And then I kind of realized, I like the chase. You know, I try and enjoy everything I've got, but I like finding things for a good deal to put into the collection. I like kind of looking forward to things, and I think that's very much the case with how I approach like collecting nowadays. Like, I collect partly because I enjoy the chase, but in terms of like enjoying what I've got, I try and make a bit of time every day to like maybe transform or have a look at the cabinet or rearrange something or pose something. Time is quite a valuable thing, I find nowadays. There's not much of it for anyone. But you know, I collect just because I enjoy it, and it's fun, and it's I don't even think it's about nostalgia anymore. I think I've enjoyed toys much more as an adult than as a child. You know, I've still got all my childhood Transformers. I loved all my childhood Transformers, but I've gotten so much more out of it as an adult, and that's why I started the YouTube thing, like to kind of focus on the toys a bit more, kind of notice the details and like put across how much I enjoy it. And I think the goal is just to enjoy the chase, not hoard too much, and I think don't be afraid to let go of what you don't need, and keep that cyclical motion going, and just have stuff to enjoy. You know, and what's not to enjoy about robots in any kind of form? You know, robots that like to punch each other in the face for fun.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I'm the same in the respect that I miss the chase somewhat. You know, with that, because you know I've said it time again, you know, with my collection being pretty much done and just buying to replace or upgrade, that sort of like that nervous excitement that you get when you find something, you know, like if you know, like back in the day, going on like a market stall or a charity shop or an odd toy fair, and then you're rummaging around in a bucket of toys and stuff, and you think, oh, is that a G1 Ironide? And you know, it's like, God, it is, kind of thing. And it doesn't matter that it's beat up or battered. It's just like, I've got a G1 Ironide here, you know, kind of thing. You know, so there's that, you know, and then you're like thinking, right, okay, well, you know, you go on eBay and it's like, oh, there's a Ratchet, you know. So it's just that thing, that chase, and you know, that's. But it's gone. But like I say, I suppose you do find motivations in other aspects and things, you know, as it changes and evolves.
Definitely.
So when would you say collecting came a thing for you then? Was there a particular figure or circumstances that like brought you back into it?
Yeah.
Sorry, not back into it, sorry, brought you into collecting, sorry.
Yeah, definitely. That's right. I mean, I've always collected in like across childhood. I remember when I was younger, I used to collect Star Wars Micro Machines. I used to love that. I used to collect things like cards, stickers, Go-Go's. When I was much younger, I grew up in kind of the late 80s, got into Star Wars like late 80s, and there was nothing around. I tended to get into things like Thunderbirds in the early 90s as well. Tended to get into things when there was no merch anywhere, so I was like solely reliable on things like car boot sales. And like my nan bought me like a massive Millennium Falcon with loads of figures. Still got all of those. Like I'd always have like some sort of collection going on. But when it was with Transformers, it was definitely. I was back and forth with it for a couple of years before kind of the DVDs and the series was re-released. Again, there was nothing out there. I remember downloading an episode off something like Sherazar or LimeWire. And watching that and thinking like, I remember this. I want to get all my old tapes back and videos back. But there was a visit to Dewsbury, like I told you earlier. My family are from Dewsbury, around where you are. To the Mucky Market there, where Gareth, who runs Cosmic Toys, had a toy stall, and I knew of his toy stall, and I picked up like a couple of Star Wars figures and an RID Prowl. Which was the Lamborghini Prowl from RID, and that was the thing that kind of set me in motion. That was the one thing that I loved. That I've still got it somewhere in my storage. And that RID Prowl kind of catalyzed the whole journey back into Armada. I downloaded the entire Armada series and loved that. I know it's not critically acclaimed by Transformers fans, but I seriously loved it, and I kind of bought a Hot Shot, a Sideswipe, and delved into that. Then Energon came along and Cybertron came along and the Galaxy Force thing started, and it was that Prowl that I got off Gareth from Cosmic Toys that started that kind of journey back into like having a lot of Transformers or buy-in Transformers, as you might say. You know, that was a definite turning point. I've picked up 1 or 2 bits off Gareth over the years. But yeah, you've just unlocked a memory there. That Prowl, the RID Prowl. Because over here they came on blister cards, didn't they? Like that's right. Yeah.
Earlier on, because I can remember picking up Prowl, where it's Sideburn and Brawn.
That's the one.
Well, X-Brawn.
That's the one. Yeah.
The three ones. But then, like I say, from that Cyber Toys that I mentioned earlier on, I got the Japanese versions, which were in the orange boxes.
Oh, they were beautiful.
With lovely artwork on.
Yeah, they were so nice. Yeah,
but there were different colours, because Prowl was blue and white, Sideburn was red, and then X-Brawn was this like
green,
kind of like a Dakar. No, it was the Dakar rally kind of colours. Like the rally.
Right, yeah, like was it white with green and like the Castrol stickers?
Yeah.
That's what I remember. And they were like serious shell forms.
Oh yeah. They were great figures, and for the time and that, I did like them. Again, they've gone. I haven't got them anymore. They've been and gone. And I remember picking up like Ruination, which was the RID version of Bruticus. Yeah. So the one, and then the little. It's what used to be the Spy Changers in the G1 line. They did like the smaller ones, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually got into the Spy Changers recently. I absolutely loved it. It was recent. I say recently, the last. Maybe about 2 years ago. It feels recent. I started buying Spy Changers. I picked up a couple of packs and loved them, and then I bought a bunch off. I don't know if you've met Rohan, who's one of the sellers who goes to.
I know Rohan. Yeah,
I bought a bunch off Rohan, and he sent me all the guns then in the post, saying, I found these, and I did a little display going on for a while. I really got into Spy Changers because I like Hot Wheels as well, and the Spy Changers are kind of like they're the same size as Hot Wheels, and they're just chunky, fun, fast transforming. It reminded me of the Micromasters when I was younger, but like that, just the bigger, big chunkier. Like
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I had a few of them. I'm just trying to think which one my favourite one of those. Because they did smaller versions of Prowl, didn't they? They did like the Prowl and Sideburn and that, and then they did a Mirage, didn't they? Which like the F1 car, IndyCar. I think we're IndyCar. Yeah. No, good stuff. So that was it. So you would say like it was that Prowl then that kind of like got you into that aspect of it, then the Transformers and stuff.
That was a definite turning point for me. Yeah, that was the one thing that like stands as like a kind of like a landmark in the memory, as you might say.
Right. So staying on them pickups then, I mean, have you got all new in your collection at the moment? You know, some that's just dropped?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I've got sort of just this week actually got the old Constructicons, the vehicle modes. So I've been playing with them quite a lot, and like combiners I find a bit like, there's a question later which I might cover a little bit. Now combiners I find a little bit one of the negative aspects of Transformer collecting. I find them a little bit stressful, to be honest. It's the one thing I buy where I feel like, I need all of them. And hopefully that makes sense. It's just you need all of them for the full set. And I just find like, if you don't get the pre-orders in, they go straight away. So there is that aspect of them. But I'm kind of glad with these that they're coming out bit by bit. And the availability is a lot better than it used to be with things like this, because Combiner Wars Wave 2 was a nightmare back in the day. But these two are just two chunky like henchman boys who would just exactly what they need to be. Properly enjoying them. And I don't like Titans. I've never had the room for Titans. So I bypassed the whole Combiner Wars Devastator thing. I always thought it was too big. Always wanted just a kind of Deluxe and Voyager size Devastator. So these are ideal. And I'm just looking forward to getting the whole set now. I've got everything pre-ordered, so the stress is kind of gone now.
Right,
It's as silly as that sounds, like the toys at the end of the day, but you know.
I know what you mean. It's that anticipatory stress of thinking, right, well, I've got two, am I going to be able to get the rest of them, kind of thing, you know. But I get it. The only time I feel stressed with regards combiners is when they start sort of like trying to foist Dinobot combiners on me. And it's like, no, stop it. Dinobots don't combine.
You're a big Dinobot fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Grimlock, Grimlock's my man. But I don't. No, I'm not one for a Dinobot combiner.
I get you. Yeah, I like that. There was Did you ever get the not Age of the Primes? What was it called? There was that combiner Dinobot, the deluxe Dinobots, when they actually released them a couple of years ago in what was it called? The line after Titan's Return. I can't remember. But the Dinobots combined into a but like Combiner Wars figures that combined into a Gestalt, and the actual figures themselves were lovely, but the combiner happened once and it was like I think I definitely feel your sentiment on the whole Dinobot combiner thing. It's like, it doesn't need to happen. Why can't they just be robot dinosaurs?
I mean, I'm not Grimlock. Grimlock won't be having none of that. Grimlock would be like, no, stop that.
He's quite happy,
I did. That said, though, I did have a Dinobot combiner years ago. It was the Toy World. It was a third-party company. They did combining Dinobot team, and it was great. It was a lovely set. It was a really nice set. It was one of those sets where, to be fair, very much like the Toy World Constructor, their version of Devastator. Actually, no, sorry. It's the opposite way around. Sorry, the Dinobot ones looked really nice as individual robots, and they had really nice Dinobot modes. But it looked horrendous when it were combined. I mean, don't get me wrong, lots of bling on it. There were lots of gold chrome everywhere. You know, kind of like, it was shiny as hell. but like I said, combined, there was just something not right about it. And it were a bit vicious as well, because the claws on that thing were sharp.
I think I remember the one, like, was the swoop on the back?
Yeah, he had the wings coming out the back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then the Toy World Constructor, their Devastator, looks absolutely horrid individually, but when it's combined, it looks sweet. It looks really, really nice. And I still have that. And I don't know if, because I've jumped on the X-Transbots for their combining Devastator.
Got you. Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I'll get rid of the Toy World one. I might keep that. But I don't know. We'll see. Well, when that time comes, we're still a while off yet. Right. Okay. No, that's cool. Is that? So have you got? Is there all that you've got your eye on at the moment? Is there anything you've got your eye on at the moment then, or like any pre-orders that you're waiting for to drop?
Yeah. There's quite a lot actually. I mean, there's obviously the rest of the combiners. I've got everything down and ordered that I need ordered, pretty much. Like I've got the rest of Menasor sorted. Menasor, I've done it again. The rest of Devastator sorted.
I know what you mean. It's fine.
Menasor was 3 years ago, 2 years.
I don't get me wrong.
Anyway.
I'm sure there'll be people in the chat if they do watch it and they'll be like, he said,
he's wrong
again.
He's wrong. He's Welsh. Just give him a chance. There's the rest of Devastator. I've got the rest of Superion as well. They're going full on with these with the combiners again, which is nice. Like they've kind of used some nice combiners, and looking forward to those and having those, because I absolutely love Menasor. It's my favorite combiner. So to have more is it's great. And I feel like we're due a good Devastator. A Devastator the size that I want it in. I've got Silverball coming, the aerial bots. I pre-ordered Megatron the other day, the 86 Megatron. I'm not a massive Megatron fan, but it kind of it needs to kind of happen. Like that's not one I don't feel like I can pass that one up. But apart from that, nothing else really. There is a Cybertron Sideways coming out, which I haven't pre-ordered yet. I'm pretty sure that's going to be readily available because Cybertron toys aren't massively popular. So I'll pick that up when it comes out, probably just from Smith's. But apart from those, just keeping my eye on what's coming out. I think I don't pre-order everything like I used to. I just pre-order what I want. But this year's been particularly expensive with the combiners. So the combiners are kind of the main focus, and the main budgeting has happened around them. Yeah, it's a good time to be a Transformers fan. I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're into mainline, mainlines, it seems to be going really strong at the moment. There seems to be a lot going off there, and for people to pick up. I'm more the masterpiece side. I don't dabble much in mainline. So and there's still stuff going off on that side, but it doesn't seem to be as regular as what it used to be. But at one time, used to have releases quite often. But you see, I don't know. I feel it seems like it's slowing up a bit. But I did.
The official stuff,
pardon? What's that? Sorry.
Especially the official stuff seems to be slowing down that piece, doesn't it? Yeah.
Now they've got this MPG. Oh yeah, it's all third party for me. Yeah, it's all third party for me. The Gareth, just mentioning Gareth again, he did lend me, probably sometime last year, it may even be the year before, the Legacy Menasor, the combiner. Yeah. I'll get Menasor in there, so then you can use that as your excuse. That's why you keep saying Menasor, because I brought it up. And that were a nice set. And if I'd have been in for mainline, I'd have been all over that. I'd have I did think it was a particularly nice set. But just touching back on Masterpiece again, I just wanted to quickly ask you, this is, deviating from the script, the horror, the shock. I know. What am I doing? What am I playing at here? I've allowed myself 10% variance on these things, so it's okay. We're still good.
It's all good.
The trilogy stuff, if they start doing Masterpiece stuff in that line, would you have a dabble on that? Like if they did like a Masterpiece Sideburn or Prowl or something like that, from
possibly. I mean, there is third party, I suppose MP scale sort of Galaxy Force stuff. They've done Galaxy Convoy. It looks amazing. It's about £100 now on AliExpress, and I've been tempted a couple of times to pull the trigger on it. There's a couple of reviews that say it's a bit shoddy and it's a bit fragile. If they did official stuff, possibly. I'd never say never. It depends on, to be honest, entirely on the financial situation I'm in. At the moment, I can just like I'm a teacher, I decent wage, but with rent prices as they are at the moment, like I can just about stay on top of my mainline hobby. Most of my other collecting's gone out the window or been sold. So I can. If there was something I really, really wanted, I nearly pulled the trigger on a Mega Prime. That thing looks amazing.
Yeah.
but I could probably find a way to do it if they did like a Galaxy Convoy masterpiece.
Yeah,
which is like the Prime from Cybertron. Then yeah, probably. I don't think I could pass that up. But,
yeah.
it would depend.
I mean, it's interesting because you mentioned a moment ago that you'd pre-ordered the Studio Series 86 Megatron.
Yeah,
I pre-ordered the Studio Series Prime, but the knockoff version. You know, that's
do you know what?
Price. Oh, you've got him.
I've got one. Yeah. It's well, you're not going to be disappointed. Did you get the full set one?
Yeah, I've got the full set one with the trailer on that because I've got to do it. I can't. It just wouldn't feel right just having the truck. I mean, it's just for me anyway. I mean, you know, everyone's different, but for me, it'd be like, I know, you know, when he's off doing Prime stuff, he hasn't got his trailer with him, but it's just like, I just need it there. I just need to know that it's in that pocket universe somewhere, waiting for him when he transforms.
I mean, I've got the official one as well. But I could not resist like 11 quid on just to see what it's like. It's really good. Like you're not going to be disappointed. I was going to bring it up later anyway, but it's
we'll come back to it. Yeah.
It's a
I mean, like I said, it was 40. I think it's worked out something like 46 quid with postage. Yeah. And I thought I'm happy to drop 46 quid on that. You know, even if I just keep it a few weeks, you know, take some photos, do a quick review or a video or something, and then move it on. I think it's worth it just for that. You know, so what?
Yeah.
That's right.
So I was going to say, I bought 2 of those, and I've already shifted one on so they were like 11 quid each. I thought, like I'll get 2 to see what one goes for on eBay, and I sold the other one for 35.
Right.
So like people are still like against kind of ordering from China. They don't want to bother. They'd rather pay for domestic postage because there's less risk. But I think that played a lot of part in it. But it's well worth 11 quid, you know, so you won't be disappointed with it.
No, well, see, that's the thing. I mean, a good place. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't something I was particularly interested in because, like I say, I don't do mainline. But when I saw it and I saw how much it won, I'd heard about the improvements and stuff. I thought, well, I'll take a risk on it. So the plan is, if it comes and I like it, I'm probably, because I'm in no rush. I'm a patient person. I'll wait for the KO Megatron because they'll do one. They'll do a KO Megatron.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it'll probably come with another hugging of accessories. It'll probably come with an Energon mace and stuff like that, you know. So I'm a patient person. I can wait, and I'll probably do it that way. So staying on the figure stuff, then the next one would be about is there something that you'd like that hasn't been released or made available yet?
Yeah, I mean,
I know you mentioned that Galaxy.
Yeah, but what you were saying about the Galaxy 4 stuff, if they did, I'd love that. Like I've picked up a lot of what I've been enjoying over the last couple of years is the Unicron trilogy generation stuff. Like I've loved it. It's been brilliant. Like the Starscream was so good. I sold my original one in Japanese box and everything. Like it just, I felt like I didn't need it anymore. And it was taking up a lot of room as well. So, like I'm quite happy to replace stuff like that, even if I had it for 20 years or something like that.
Is that the really big one? That the really big Starscream?
No, not the giant one. There's a Japanese version which is Voyager size. Right. It was only available in Japan in the Starscream colours in that size, and I loved it. You know, I'd had it for a long time, but the new one, I just thought it was so good. I was moving stuff on at the time, and I needed a bit of space because me and Claire were moving in together. It was before I had like a storage lockup or anything like that. And I just felt like there was a bunch of them that had come out that I got, and I enjoyed the Generations version of so much that I just moved the other ones on. So anything kind of Unicron trilogy, like Generations, I'm in for. But I'd love like a Cybertron Megatron or a Cybertron Soundwave would be an absolute treat. Maybe the figures from that line, there's some figures from that line that weren't fantastic. I love them for what they are, but like I think Soundwave was one of them. Maybe like the like there was the Cybertron Defense Team as well, which was like a really beefed up version of Red Alert, Batguild, and Exegeyser, who was like Exillion, Hotshot. The team of those would be really cool. But anything from Cybertron that hasn't come out yet in the Generations line, I definitely love to look forward to. Yeah, that would be cool.
That sounds good. I think if I remember rightly, was it Make Toys or Make Toys, however you pronounce it? But I'm pretty sure they did a masterpiece version of that Starscream.
Yes, they did. Yeah, it was Meteor, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was. The G1 version was called Meteor, but I think they also called that Meteor as well.
It was gorgeous.
I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah. If you, so I mean, I don't know if it may be the same answer. I don't know, but I've started asking this one because I thought it'd be quite interesting to see, how people would answer it. But it's like, if you could design your own toy, what would that be? Would it be something that would fit in your collection, or would it just be something completely different and random?
I think it'd be definitely something that would fit in my collection. I'm definitely, right. I don't know. I'm definitely one in for like, I love like 3 and 3/4 inch action figures. A bit into Star Wars as well. So something transformery, and like the G.I. Joe stuff has started to come out in this kind of sense, hasn't it? Something that you could fit a 3 3/4 inch figure in, but it could also transform. You've got the Megatron. I love stuff like that. I'd be well in for stuff like that. I don't like cross what's it called, franchise stuff. So I don't like Star Wars, Transformers or anything like that. They were interesting when they came out, when they happened, but I'm not in for cross franchise stuff. But something along the lines of like a big car, man. So a car or a vehicle like Mask that could transform as well into a robot, but has its own thing as well. Maybe not not from the Transformers line or from like the Mask line, but something along those lines would be cool. If I could design a line, it would be something like that. 3 3/4 inch figures transforming vehicles.
Right.
Win.
I'd be in for that. I mean, even now to this day, again, I'm going off a tangent again here, but even to this day, it still gasps my flabber that that they've not. You've got your set of Transformers films, that Paramount and Hasbro have done, kind of thing. How easy would it be to start making movies of Mask? Because you've got Mask comes about because it's kind of like stolen Cybertronian tech. That explains why their vehicles can transform.
And I love that. They were going to do that universe, weren't they, originally? But they kind of like just off because it never.
Tossed out. But I mean, it would be a great, be a great inward that. Because then you could have them all in the same universe, interacting and crossing over and stuff like that. But
be well up for that.
I mean, I'm not a big Mask fan, but that's something I think I'd enjoy watching something like that.
Yeah.
So, is there a particular piece in your collection that you're vibing on at the moment? As in, like, is there something that's just on your desk that you just keep picking up and having a play about?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He's been the knockoff Prime has been one of the last week that I've pushed back and forth a couple of times. I've had the official one out of the cupboard as well, and kind of done a lot of comparisons. And they're both. It's I feel like validated keeping them both, because like they are very different in their feel and how tight they are, and that feels like a toy. This feels a bit more like third party ish. But I've found that's been a very interesting time this week. Very nerdy thing to say, but I've enjoyed that. But apart from those,
which out of the two do you prefer?
I don't know, because last week I'd have told you this one, but then I've had the official one out on a bedside table for the last day and a half, and there's something a little more maybe cohesive about it.
Right.
I don't know if I feel safer playing with that one and transforming it. It might be that, but then nothing's broken on this. It's absolutely fine. It was stiff when I first got it, and after a couple of moves about it, it started to like play a little nicer. I don't think I could pick out of the two if I had to. No. I mean, and that tells me, I suppose hopefully that tells you as well that you've made a good investment with your 40 quid and you're not going to be disappointed. It's ridiculous. I've already ordered a Magnus one, because they've got the white one coming out end of June. So I've ordered one of those. In which case, when that arrives, if that's just like this, I might move this one on then. But I don't know. I can't say. But that's definitely been a vibe this week. The other one is these two haven't really left the desk yet at all. So I got Slingshot and Air Raid.
Okay. Yeah.
The aerial boss that came out a couple of weeks ago, and do you know what? They're far from perfect, and that's what I find really interesting about them. I like. There was like Blitzwing came out a couple of months ago, years ago now, and the jet mode was a bit like. There was like Deluxe Tracks came out a couple of years ago, and I've really enjoyed that figure because it was a bit same with the 2 aerial bots. They're not quite. I don't know if it sounds right to say they're not quite the final versions. Yeah, you know, there's still improvements to be made, and like they in a couple of years, I can see them doing something different again. But that's what I find really interesting about them. I quite like there was, take Kingdom Cyclonus for example. That thing's perfect. It's so perfect. I find it boring. It's like there's nothing they could improve on it. There's nothing I look at and think like, yeah, that doesn't work. Everything just works. It's a beautiful figure. It's fun. Yeah. I love it. But it's missing that kind of inquisitiveness that I find that I like about figures that aren't quite there. It's a weird way. I guess I kind of look.
You kind of like a figure that's got a bit of a quirk to it rather than just being
definitely. I like something that isn't perfect. Like that's, take Air Raid for example. In jet mode, he's got 2 sticking out bits at the bottom that when I transformed them, I was like, is that it? Is that like, are they meant to be there? And they were, and I was just a bit like, it took me a second to kind of look around them, if you know what I mean. Right. But I enjoyed that. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just, I guess I spent so long doing it with like Unicron trilogy toys that had terrible features on them, or just had big, massive backpack bits sticking off them. That I don't know. Maybe it's something that's nostalgic that I enjoy about toys. But yeah, you know, equally I enjoy toys that are amazingly well designed, like the 86 Prime. But yeah, I like them to have a bit of a quirk. Definitely.
No, I get it. I get it. Is there a figure? I mean, it doesn't have to be one that you've got. It could, or it could be just one you've seen, or a friend or whoever's got. But is there a figure that you've looked at recently that's just like really impressed you? You just thought, yeah, that's tasty. Is that, I like that?
A figure recently that's really impressed me.
I'll tell you what. No, I'll open it up. It doesn't have to be recently. Like, you know, has there been? Yeah, let's open it up and just say, right, has there been a figure that you've seen? And again, it can be one you've got. It could be one that you haven't got, but you've just like, it's just been really impressed you and just thought, yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, there's I mean, it's roughly a year and a half old now. There's the Cybertron Starscream that came out in the it was Generations or the Kingdom. Like it was mainline 2 years ago. Right. Like I said, that thing like properly just blew me away. I sold the original in the package. Like I said, I love Japanese packaging. Like it kind of catalyzed me into selling the original figure. It was so good. It looked so much better than the original, even though the original had all those things I loved about Transformers at the time, the chunky plastic, the clicky articulation. It's got to be that Starscream. I think is one of the best of the last couple of years. Going back to Menasor as well, I think my favorite Transformer over the last, what would it be, like 3 or 4 years, the one that's really, really wiped the floor, I think, with everything else for me is Motormaster, the Lexi Motormaster. That I think is just so many levels of impressive every time I handle that and like transform it. I just remember why I love it so much. It's really, really complex but really semantic at the same time, so I find that like I know what I'm doing, whatever. If I want to put it into Menasor mode, it kind of tells you how to do it. There's nothing tricky or difficult. You don't get stuck anywhere. You have to look at the instructions. Put it in truck mode, same thing. And all 3 modes, I think, just look brilliant. I think it's I've just talked myself back into Menasor and Motormaster. But Motormaster was just out of this world, I thought. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, good choice. Yeah, that, like I said, that Legacy Menasor set that I got and I played. Yeah, I thought the same. It was like I say, had I been mainline, I'd have been all over that like a rash. That'd be on the shelf now. But because it wasn't, it's just like, no, I've got to let it go. I've got to let it go.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I know what I mean.
What would be your desert island piece if you were stuck on a desert island? You know, Transform.
This used to be. This used to be like the saving a house fire question, didn't it?
It was. Yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah. I changed it because I thought. Yeah. I really don't want to tempt fate. You know, so like whoever I speak to has probably got no chance whatsoever of being stuck on a desert island. So I thought, right, I'll go that way, you know. Because, you know, knowing my luck, I'd ask someone that question, then like a couple of weeks later, it'd be on social media. So I like saying, so and so has just, lost his collection because house has burnt down or something like that.
It's like number one suspect, like in Dewsbury.
Yeah, it's like,
it'd be the same answer, I think. I picked it off the top shelf earlier. It'd be, so this is, hang on if I can. That's it's the Cybertron Prime with Wind Saber on it, but it's actually like a gift set that you can only get in Japan in Toys R Us if you if you played snooker at the front of the store with oranges or something like that. It's this Sonic Convoy gift set that came from Japan. My mates actually bought this for me for my birthday. It must be about 16, 17 years ago now. But yeah, that's it's my favorite thing in my collection. I got the box, I've got all the accessories that came with it, and the chrome has miraculously survived for that long. But it's kind of like, it's the original Cybertron Prime, but with like red chrome and like clear plastic legs, and I just think it's beautiful. And it's also really fun.
It does. That does look a toy and a half, does that? That's
it's great. Yeah, it's the one thing that I think I'd never ever, one of a few things I'd never ever let go of. I think Japanese exclusive Unicron trilogy stuff that's quite hard to find is definitely my jam, and the things I've procured over the years, including this, are just the things I would never ever let go of. So Sonic Convoy, he's a chunk.
Yeah, no, that does look tasty, does that? That does look nice. I'm not getting one, but it looks nice. I can appreciate it, but it's not. Well, I mean, you briefly touched on this one earlier on when we were chatting, but I don't know if you want to go and tell us a bit more about your other interests, that you have, like that's outside your core collecting focus. Other things you collect, toy lines, or just generally stuff that interests you.
Yeah, sure. But I love Gundam. Like Gundam has been something my mate got me into maybe around 2010. It's something that's on the back burner at the moment, mostly because of space and time. But it is. I think that's the one thing I miss the most at the moment. Things have changed in life recently, and I have to make priorities, and for the better, to be honest. But I do absolutely love Gundam. I've got a massive Gundam collection. It's in my lockup of model kits I've made. I've got unmade model kits there that I want to make. That's been a big thing, massive thing in life for the last, that I've spent hours on for the last kind of 10, 15 years. I love Star Wars. I've dived into the Black. I know you've dived into Black Series a bit yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a few bits. Yeah, it's mainly Stormtrooper variants that I go in for. I'm not so big on the human characters, if you will. But yeah, it's the Stormtroopers I'm in.
Yeah, and I always find it's good to have a focus with Black Series. When I was deep in it, I was just picking up as much stuff as possible.
Right.
I just ended up with too much stuff, so I just knocked it on the head because they were getting too expensive. Like the sale stuff wasn't happening as often, and I didn't have the room. So I knocked Black Series on the head, but I do like the Power of the Force 2 stuff from the early 90s, like the muscly ones. Right. I really love that kind of stuff, and that's dirt cheap. You can still buy them on card for next to nothing. I find that stuff really charming. I've got a big collection of that. I love that. I'm also into GameCubes. So GameCube, I was in my mid-20s and loved GameCube, absolutely adored it.
Right.
Big on PS1 when I was young. And then I found PS2 never really caught me. I got a GameCube and just adored it. So I mod GameCubes to play kind of like off memory cards and casings, and light the casings up and all sorts of stuff. I love doing that. I do a nice bit of soldering. I play bass in a wedding band. My wife is a lead singer in a band, so I dep in there quite often. Quite musical. Just there's all sorts, like there's things I've picked up over the years that I've let go of. At the moment I'm like, I don't know if you know Ed, a different Ed, Bumble Jumper 82, he's off on
I've seen him in the chats and stuff like that. I've not actually interacted one-on-one with him, but I've seen him knocking about in the chats.
So he's like my local Transformers mate, so we go toy shopping every now and again, and at the moment we're into swapping Hot Wheels every time we meet up. So there's been countless things that I've kind of dived into a little bit, like Figuarts was one of them from Japan.
Right.
that at one point I had a lot of stuff. Star Wars Lego was a big one as well. I ended up just selling my entire collection off to someone for cheap.
Right.
I just needed the space and wanted to get rid of it because it was. But yeah, there's been lots of stuff, and I find as long as you're enjoying something, that's all good. But at the moment, I've just gone back to focus on the one thing, Transformers, and it feels. It feels better actually. A couple of years ago, I had a much bigger toy room. I was living in I was in a different stage of life, essentially. Right. And one thing, life changed, and I ended up living in my toy room for a couple of months. And there was just, I got so sick of waking up every day with just all this stuff around me that I just wanted to, get rid of it, and some of it's in storage, so I got rid of some of it. There was just too much of it, and it was just like in my face all the time and overstimulating. So I needed a bit more like calm, and that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm happy with one cabinet of toys and a couple on the desk, and that's
I can appreciate that. I mean, my collection isn't on display as such. It's because I don't have the space here in the loft, so it's all in boxes, all down the other end of the loft there. And sometimes I can come up in the loft and I'll look around at what I've got and I'll think, I think I'm just going to get rid of all this. Because sometimes I come up and it feels like clutter. Yeah, and I hate clutter. I really, really dislike clutter. But then other times I look at it and I think, I need to get this out on display. Because it's a crime really all being stuck up in the boxes. But it'll come. That time will come. Like I say, I'm a patient person. But like I say, the Black Series stuff, I'm going to be calling the day on that soon, because the last ones that I'm waiting for are actually coming out later this year, and that's the Sand Troopers.
Oh, nice, yeah.
So I can get them, and I can wash my hands of that. Then I can be done, because like I said, it's the Stormtrooper variants. The only ones I'd come back in out of retirement, so to speak, if you could call it that. They started doing the Scar Squadron from the comics, the Stormtroopers. They did Sergeant Creel and Mike, or Mick, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
but they haven't done the others, and it's like. Come on, are you going to do it? Because if they're not going to do the others, there's no point me keeping them two. I mean, Sergeant Creel is one that it's a nice figure, but it annoys the hell out of me because it's got a First Order pauldron. It doesn't have.
Does it really?
It doesn't have an original trilogy pauldron.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I know why they've done it, because they've given it a First Order Stormtrooper torso. Because it's like just a smooth. That I can kind of live with, but just the pauldron, it just sticks out. And I know it's stupid. I know it's stupid, but it irritates me. So that'd be nice to cap that off. I have a few classified G.I. Joe classified. I've got the Cobra officer there at the moment, but that's done with because I just picked up a few to they represent the ones I had as a kid, because I didn't have many. But it's interesting you mentioned because I can see them behind you, the guitars and stuff. Yeah. Back when I was a kid, I started learning to play the guitar.
Oh yeah.
And then kind of I fell away from it, and then probably about 10 years ago, I bought myself a Les Paul copy, but it was a nice Les Paul copy.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, like the sunburst with the white, the white pad thing or whatever it is, just and stuff.
Nice, yeah.
And I started it, and I had like a nice little lamp with it and that, and I started, but I just got so frustrated and ended up selling it. It were a work colleague that my partner has. She was wanting to get one for her son. And I just said, he can have it like this. So I got rid of that. I got myself a ukulele. So I've got a uke.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'm having the same problem with the uke as what I did with the guitar. And it's that I can't move this and this hand at the same time. So when I go to change, this hand always stops. So I'm like, dun, 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 dun. And this stops. Like, well, you keep going while I'm doing, And I just can't break that.
It does take
frustrating.
Really it's a weird like initial thing to break. I'm a bassist, and I started playing bass when I was 17. It took me a long time to pick it up properly. But by like the time I was 18, I was in a band playing like covers and stuff like that, really, really badly. And then a metal band when I was in my 20s, and then put it all down for a couple of years. And it was only like since I've been with Claire, she was like, "You can play bass. Do you fancy dapping for us a couple of times?" So in the last like 2 years since I've been, that's 18 months, I suppose, since I've been playing with the band, I've never been better. You know, I was never this good when I was younger. But when I was younger, I never had YouTube or anything like that to learn from. So I've really kind of like made the most of the tech now, as opposed to just reading tabs and things back then. But yeah, the whole moving both hands at the same time, I can't get around drums, to be honest. I've had to go on drums, and it's just how do I move this foot and these hands? It doesn't work for me, so I can't. I'd be the same. Yeah, I can do the hands, do stuff, but once you start thinking about the feet, and it's the same. It's the same with a keyboard or piano. I can play a tune on a keyboard or piano with one finger, but I can't get the whole multiple fingers going. Yeah, that's not happening. So I'm giving myself up there because I did a short video on Sunday where I'm playing the piano, and it's not. I'm just cheating. I'm cheating. You're miming piano,
And I'm like giving it all this with fingers, but I've got an earpiece in that you can't see because I'm listening, so I know kind of thing.
When to play, I love it.
Yeah, I'm giving trade secrets over here. So it's just fake it. Everything on film's fake anyway. Yeah. So, why should I be any different? Instagram it. So. Right, I'm gonna take you back now. I'm gonna ask you about toys and games and stuff like that. You were playing about with as a kid and favourites there. I mean, I know you've mentioned some Transformers in there like as well, but were there anything else going off as well?
When I was a kid, so I loved Mask. When I was a kid, I was well into Mask. I've actually got. I picked a few bits out. That's I know there's a question about birthdays later. And Christmas, but that's my original Gator I got with like my 8-year-old, my 8th or 7th birthday. I remember going to Toys R Us and picking that up and just loving it. I somehow I always looked after toys, but it's just stayed in great condition. All these years. So that's my original Gator. I just adored Mask. There was. I mean, we had if you're talking games wise, we had a BBC. Micro when I was a kid, and just loved games. Like that computer had a lot of like Atari copies on it, so there was like a copy of Mr. Do, a copy of Pac-Man. There was like the Star Wars arcade game on it, and things like Imogen and Citadel. I loved retro games like that. I played a lot of those. Toy lines wise, I mean, Turtles was big. That was the. I remember Turtles being the one thing where everyone was waiting for the toys and waiting for the toys. Everything else I was into, like Transformers, Mask, like Star Wars, had either at the end of their lives, like late 80s, or had just completely gone. So I was, I loved finding stuff at car boot sales and markets and stuff like that that wasn't out in the shops. I couldn't work out why they weren't out in the shops at the time, but there was anything like that. Definitely stuff like that. I mean thinking board games I used to play as well. I was always big on Mousetrap and Game of Life. Me and my brother used to play a lot of that. And Screwball Scramble. I remember getting Screwball Scramble for Christmas one year and just absolutely decimating it. Right. Anything like that.
Yeah, I see. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think board games are a big thing for kids now. I mean, they were, when I was growing up, board games were always, even Monopoly and Cluedo. And I was speaking, I was talking to, well, if I keep to the schedule, the video that I've done before this one, when I've been talking to Matt, Kraken Wakes, we got chatting about board games and stuff, and there was one that I used to play called Lost Valley of the Dinosaurs, which is an old one game from '85.
Yeah, I remember it.
Great game. So they were big things in that. Turtles were pretty much getting towards back end of my time kind of thing. I missed out on that. But again, it kind of links with the games and that, because I remember playing the Turtles NES game
Oh, that was
trying
hard.
to play it because it was just absolutely brutally hard.
Oh, hard, that game. But it was really good. I remember like all my mates had that.
Yeah.
And I loved it. There was like the van section and the street section and then the sewer section. But it was, you're right, it was absolutely solid. But the novelty was always that you could go any of the turtles.
Yes.
I used to love that. Yeah. That was cool.
So that would, I mean, I've seen Turtles, and every now and again I'll get a little twinge and I'll think, you know, maybe a set of Turtles would look nice on my shelf.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, I don't know. It's just that one thing that I know that I'd get them. They'd be on the shelf for a couple of weeks, and then they just get thrown away in a box somewhere and put in storage.
I think looking at things, looking at toy lines in that sort of light, like pushing your impulsiveness back is kind of like the mature collector kind of attitude. People that have been in it for a long time, definitely have that kind of look on it now. It's just like, I want it, but I don't need it, and I know what will happen to it. I think, you know, we kind of know that sort of thing, and that's what holds you back from just doing it. Like Turtles has always been one of those things that I've never dived into for that exact reason. It was something I was into as a child, but I've never seen it as something that like I would stick to. You know, it wouldn't be a case of, it wouldn't be sort of like going in and getting foot soldiers and Splinter and Shred and stuff like. It'd just be the Turtles. But then, like I say, they'd be there, and then they'd be in a box. I mean, the Black Series, the Black Series stuff I've got, they're all boxed. You know, I keep all the boxes from, but they're all in a huge plastic storage box, and they're stored away. You know, the only one that isn't is this chap, and that's only because. Going off camera here. Is that chap the what's it called again? Oh, nice! It's the rocket trooper, isn't it, from Mandalorian?
Yeah, is that one? And that's because I picked it up. Did I pick that up? Yeah, I picked that up earlier this year, and I've just not bothered to go to the storage box to put it in the storage box. You know, so that's why it's still over there on the shelf waiting to go in. And same as that one, the Cobra Officer. I got that for cheap money. I've already got one, but I thought it'd look nice to have a second one, you know, to have them side by side kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
And it was cheap money, and so he's just out on the shelf at the time being and that. So, but yeah, there was so many stuff as a kid, you know, that we played with and that were out there to pick up and stuff, but it'd be just too much to try and get it all back and, you know, and pick up now. I mean, the mask stuff, you mentioned the mask there. Again, I didn't have any of the mask stuff. I had family, you know, cousins that had it, and it was okay to play with, you know, when I went to go to visit them and stuff. But it always felt a bit fragile to me, and I've said this before, you know. So, are you in for the loyal subject stuff?
No. I've got my childhood mask stuff, which I'm happy with. Like some of it's broken, some of it's absolutely fine, like the Gator. I've bought like a few bits as an adult, like I've got a Thunderhawk as an adult because I wanted a Thunderhawk. I've got a Condor. Yeah. But the new stuff, I'm just completely priced out of. I mean, space-wise, I don't even have the space to display it, so I'd have to store it anyway. But I'm priced out of it. It's not worth paying that much for it. I don't want it that much. I'd rather buy, like, you know, a couple of deluxe Transformers or you know, maybe a couple of video games or something like that with the money, or pay a bill off. I just don't need it. Yeah, it's lush. And if someone gave it to me, don't get me wrong, I'd be like, yeah, that's wicked. Yeah. But it's not something I want to dive into. No.
You just mentioned video games then, but is that what you're playing on now then? Is it the video game stuff you do now?
I mean, not so much at the moment, because I've got the last kind of year has been pretty hectic with school and the wedding and things like that. But yeah, when I get the chance, I'll whack the GameCube on and play a couple of retro games. I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order, or Jedi, the second Fallen Order, Survivor on the PS4.
All right.
I haven't delved into the next generation of consoles yet, but I got a Switch that I like to play, like things like Advance Wars. I love Monkey Island. I don't know if you've ever heard of Monkey Island, like the old adventure series. I play a lot of those, like point and click adventures. So yeah, definitely kind of niche areas of video gaming that I like to dive into. But I definitely like games. I think I do more like modding now than game playing, if that makes sense. Yeah.
There was one. No, sorry, go on. It's right.
I was going to say that there's a bit more money in the modding, and I kind of like enjoy modding stuff and selling it on, and then getting something and repairing it, like that side of things. I used to take things apart as a kid and break them. So I think the novelty now that I'm able to fix them. My brother said that in my best man speech. Like Brad used to like to buy things, take them apart, and not be able to put them back together, much to Dad's dismay. But now that I can actually repair them, I think the novelty of that really holds. So love doing it.
No, when you mentioned Monkey Island, there was one years ago for PlayStation for Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars.
Oh, Broken Sword was fantastic. Yeah,
I didn't have it was just a demo that I had, and it was one of those games where it was like I must pick that up, but I never did. Was it on it was on one of the magazine demo discs? Is that the one? I think it was something like that. Yeah, it would have been on one of those. I had the
same one. If it's the same one, definitely like that. And
but I had a GameCube as well. I had a GameCube as well, because I did the whole retro gaming thing, back in the 80s. Well, it's called retro gaming now, but I did the whole micro stuff, as you can see behind me, back through the 80s and stuff. Did the Atari ST, but the GameCube, or the PlayStation, but I dropped out of it for a while and got the GameCube. And it was the Rogue Squadron games that got me on. Rogue Squadron 2 and 3. Yeah. Phenomenal. Yeah, and I still think they're great games even now. They're great games now.
Brilliant. I just wish they'd HD them. I mean, the Factor 5 license is a very complicated thing, so I hear, but those are the two they just can't seem to get the license to update, and they'd be fantastic to update. I love the ship battle games. I was always more ships in Star Wars than I was like Jedi and Sith and the Force. Just wanted the ships. So those games were just, and Rogue Squadron on the N64 as well was a good one. They were fantastic. Nothing's really beaten those in terms of like Star Wars for me.
They're still great. And then when Resident Evil 4 came out, that was just that was just head blown off, and it would just. I still have I still have my GameCube. I still have Res 4, and I'll get it out every now and again, blow the dust off, and have a game on it and play on it and that, because I have it on the Xbox, which is, I think it's the tarted up version that was on the PlayStation, and I'll play it and it's playable, but for some reason the version that you play like on the original GameCube, it just feels more atmospheric. It just feels more immersive than what it does on the PlayStation. I think it's maybe because they've tarted it up too much, they've cleaned it up too much, I think maybe.
Yeah, it's definitely. I love the GameCube version. Something to do with the pad as well. I love the GameCube controller. It just works really well with it. I recently played the remake on PS4 as well. It's brilliant. It's a lovely remake, and it's kind of everything I wanted from it. I don't know if you've played the remake, but
I have it, and I think I've already discussed this with one of the other Collector's Archive I did. My son, I've got it, and it's still in the cellophane. And my son, he says, "Are you going to play that, Dad?" I says, "Yeah, I'll get around to it. Yeah. I mean, and I've had it because I got it for the it's for the PlayStation, isn't it? For PS4, because he upgraded to a PS5, so I bought his PS4 off him, and so I've got it for that. But I've done the others, the Race 2 and Race 3 remake, because I think I've got them on the Xbox. So, but I just like I said, I just don't have time or inclination to play on this stuff now, and I'm not going to. I've already set my stall out. I'm not. It's an Xbox One S that I've got. That's my last console. I can't see me going to a next generation, because it's just like it's getting cost prohibitive. With the consoles and the games. And also have this whole thing. I mean, we're going off on a tangent again, but I don't care.
No, let it go for it.
I'm still in my 10% variance here, so we're cool. We're good. I think we're about 5.5% at the minute. It's that all the games, all the consoles and the games houses and this lot now, they just seem to be phasing out physical media, And I don't agree with that. I don't like that. If I want to buy a game and I've got a copy of the game, because if I buy a game and it's just on it's not on my hard drive and I have to stream to play it, what's to say that they can just one day say, all right, well, that game's not available anymore, you can't play it.
They do, don't they? Yeah.
And I think as well, I've got any tin foil. Maybe I need to put my tin foil hat on for this one, but it wouldn't surprise me if gaming goes down the route of like streaming TV, where you have to pay a monthly subscription fee to play games, and if you don't pay the monthly subscription, you can't play them. And I think that that's wrong as well. So
I think it's inevitable. That's the way things are going. I agree with you on that, and it's sad. There's always retro gaming is something I love completely. Like, I got rid of my physical collection, to be honest, because I just didn't have the room and I needed the money. I had quite a big GameCube collection, and PlayStation 1 collection, and I do kind of miss that. But to be honest, none of it was getting used, and it was just sitting there, and I'd rather be with someone else. But I feel like the next gen of consoles, I'm keeping an eye on Switch 2. I wouldn't mind getting a Switch 2 if a few things come out on Switch 2 that I'm really interested in, like especially Star Wars games and the Resident Evil games, like the remakes. I'll go back through those if it comes on Switch 2. But I just feel like it's a bit soulless, the whole video game industry now. Like, I hate the look of the new PlayStation. I don't like the PlayStation 5 design at all. I don't know why it looks like that. That's just my opinion. I love the PS4.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
I feel like they're aimed at a generation of younger people now that kind of need a different style of gaming to us. And as a teacher, I see it all the time. They just love the repetitiveness of Fortnite. And Minecraft, I think, is great, but it is a very repetitive thing. And they just seem to hone in on FIFA, Minecraft, Fortnite, and things like that. And that's what's selling, much like Call of Duty did back in the day, but to like a less creative extent. And I feel like there are amazing games out there if you look at like the indie market and the smaller market, but it's not what it used to be at all. I don't feel inclined to buy an next-gen console at all yet. And this is the first generation where that's happened, and I think you're right. I think that's what I meant to say is I share your sentiment in that, like, it's probably, if I get a Switch 2, that might be my last games console. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, we've got a Switch, and every week I pick it up and dust it and put it back. It's not being used for months. We've only got the one game, which is the Mario Kart. Is it 8? Is it Mario Kart 8 that came with it?
Yeah.
And I think for a year with that, because I think I got a deal on it. I got I suppose it's Nintendo. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the Nintendo's version of like Xbox Game Pass kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I got that for a year. And but I was just going on playing all the retro games, all the old Mega Drive games and NES and SNES games and stuff. Just playing them. Yeah. But then I got frustrated at the lack of there's so many more titles they could have had on there, but they didn't. And it's just like, come on, get more content on there. But not to worry. Anyway, let's move on from that, and we'll go back to that the birthday and Christmas thing. I mean, I know you showed us your Gator, but is there any others that you've got, like you can recall strong memories of?
There's one big one, which is and it kind of goes against what I like in Transformers at all, but like I said, I'm big for like 3 3/4 inch figures and vehicles, and this just sounded to me. It must have been Christmas. It was before we moved house, so it must have been like Christmas 1990, something like that, 1991. I got an Action Master Optimus Prime, like full set. I don't know if you must be familiar with it, with the G1 stuff. Like, it's the Action Master came out with the massive trailer. So I had that, and I had a couple of Action Master figures with it. That was a belting Christmas, I think. I've still got it. It's still complete. It's still got all the bits. I really looked after it, and I love it, and I'd never get rid of it. But that Action Master Optimus Prime was was just like, it was a fantastic Christmas. That kind of resonated. Through the years, it's the one thing I don't think I'd ever get rid of, because that was just a magical Christmas. But yeah, there was like I remember when I was 12, like I said earlier, like Star Wars was kind of just gone by the time I got into Star Wars. So by the time the mid-90s came around and they started releasing Star Wars merchandise again to go with like the special editions before episode 1 came out, I got into the Micro Machines because I was big on ships and vehicles. And I remember one Christmas I got like 3 play sets, Micro Machines play sets, with just a full set of vehicles, and that was another kind of big kind of like toy, probably one of the last toy Christmases, to be honest. I was 12 when I got that. I remember thinking like, probably shouldn't be, it's silly to think, but I probably shouldn't be, I definitely can't tell anyone in school about this because I've just got loads of toys. So everyone else was getting like aftershaves and clothes and stuff. I wanted toys. I was like, I want my Star Wars toys. And that was a good Christmas. Yeah, definitely enjoyed that. But yeah, those are probably the two that stick in my mind most of all.
Can you ever see a point where you'll stop collecting? You know, like you'll draw lines to that's it. I'm not doing them all now.
No, I think any kind of life events that might have stopped me collecting have happened. If that makes sense, kind of. I'm happy to dip in and out. Like if money is ever a problem, I'm happy to leave. You know, I'd never prioritize collecting over like life expenses, but it hasn't happened yet. I've always like kept an eye on the market and things like that, and I think if I ever have to dip out, I'll always dip back in to some extent. Things have slowed down. Like I've stopped making YouTube videos for the last 2 years, just because life changed and I haven't had time to do it. A lot of that's to do with work, to be honest. But the collecting's carried on, and I think the collecting will carry on. And I like to keep a cyclical thing. Like I'm happy to sell off a bunch of stuff if I don't want it anymore, because you can always get it again. There's a price on everything, obviously, but you can always get it again. But I think, you know, I will always collect toys, probably Transformers. Or the thing I'm missing most, like I said earlier, at the moment is the Gundam. I'll probably get back into that at some point, and I'll probably always like build a Gundam, or like work on GameCubes, things like that. That side of the collecting I love as well, but it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think and I love the social side of it. Like the social side of it is calmed down the last 2 years as well. For me, it's always been something I intend to get back into via the YouTube and conventions and things like that. This has been the first year where I haven't been to conventions just because timing hasn't allowed it, to be honest. I've been doing a lot of gigging, and obviously the wedding happened, and I'll miss conventions this year, but that's something that can come around again next year. And after nearly 15 16 years of conventions, I figured maybe a year out might not be a bad thing. Might make me appreciate it a bit more next year, because last year I enjoyed it, but it was more like it was shorter, and I didn't stay as long at TF Nation, for example, and I feel like I got everything from that one day I needed to. So this year I figured I'll give it a miss, maybe go back for the full 2 nights next year and make the most again. But I feel like the collecting side of things isn't going to stop anytime soon. It's just how deep I am at the time, if that makes sense. And
I'm like yourself with that. I don't think I go through phases. I'd like to stop, but then I think no, because there's still shiny stuff that comes along, every now and again, so it's that thing that maybe I'll lie dormant for a bit and then just just come out for a few weeks or a couple of purchases and then go back, a bit like it. I'll be like, I'm like it, I'll go dormant for 28 years and then so I can then devour for a few weeks and then go back again. But anyway, about collecting then, what would you say that you like and dislike the most about it?
I think going back to what you just said, the shiny thing, the shiny thing arriving after a successful chase. I love the chase, like I said earlier. The chase is just the fun part. Looking forward to something new, having it arrive, and then maybe not having time to enjoy it fully because I don't get time to do anything nowadays, or having it arrive and then putting it on the shelf and then thinking, I'll pick that up later, and then not picking it up for ages, not even looking at a toy for a long time, or having something in a drawer for several years, not having room to display. Those are the things I dislike about it. The cost as well, but the cost is something that's kind of like a necessary evil, isn't it? But I think the amount of time I have to put into every toy, I'd love to sit there and enjoy every toy every day. It just can't happen. That I find frustrating. I look at a toy and think, I've got to pick that up at some point, and I don't. And I feel like, have I wasted my money? Have I wasted my time? Is that toy better off somewhere else? Do I need it now? Or that. Getting to a point as well where you have too much stuff, I hate. Definitely that hit a couple of years ago when I was living under my toys. I had too much stuff and it was stressing me out, and I couldn't dust it all in time, and even though it was in cabinets, wasn't enjoying any of it. So there's a lot to hate, or not hate, but to dislike about it. And like I said, the stress about buying combiners, or the stress of feeling like you need something and then fighting that off. Dislike. But the overwhelming kind of, I don't think it's even nostalgia anymore. Just enjoying them and looking at them and having to transform every now and again, and just having something shiny to there is what I enjoy about it. I can appreciate that. There's stuff I have stored away which I'd love to get out, but like I say, it's just like I can't be bothered, or something will just something else will crop up. I mean, I've two belters in storage, the Wei Zhang, which is a third-party company. I remember Wei Zhang.
They did Omega Drone and Ultima Guard, which is their masterpiece versions of Omega Supreme and the Guardian robots. Yeah, I mean, they're probably, they're about 2.5 foot tall, huge things, and they're beautiful figures, but they're packed away, and it's like, I'd love to get them out and do some photos of them and have a play and mess about with them, but it's just like, it's having to get them out.
Yeah.
Set them up, photograph them, and I know full well that I'll do the photos, I'll just pack them back up and I'll put them back in storage again, because there's no room down there for them, even because the boxes are huge on them, so that's what I don't like. I don't like the fact that I haven't got the room to fully enjoy my collection. And the other thing I don't like as well is third-party companies that insist on packaging their Transformers in vehicle mode. It's like, package them in robot mode, if people want to transform them back into a vehicle, that's fine, but you send them out in robot mode. That's what we want. So
definitely.
Is there any advice that you'd offer anyone starting out collecting now? Anything, any calls of wisdom? Just,
you definitely don't have to buy everything. I think when you first start, I see it a lot when people first start out. There's definitely a lot of, like, been on especially just the Transformer scene for a long time, and it's tempting to buy as much as possible, to maybe even feel like you're keeping up with, I guess, the people you see on YouTube and on social media with their giant collections. And that's cool. If you enjoy that kind of thing, go for it. But I think a lot of people feel the pressure to kind of jump in and buy as much as possible and keep up with everything. And I don't feel like that sustains with anyone I know who's collected for long. They always end up just with toys caving in on them, much like I did, feeling like, oh God, this is just, where do I even start to sell this off? Or where do I even start to clean up this hoard I've got? I don't feel like anyone enjoys toys that way. Maybe a select few, obviously, if they do, but most of the people I know have gotten to the point where they've bought so much so often that they just stop enjoying everything new they buy in. They pop it on. It's like, putting a chocolate bar in the cupboard for later in a cupboard full of chocolate bars. I feel like, just don't buy everything. Prioritize your life and your bills and your family, and you don't need to buy everything, and you might not buy everything you want. I think that's an important thing, and don't be afraid to let things go. I think
letting things go,
it's a lot easier than you think it is.
Well, I adopted a bit of a mantra probably about maybe 4 or 5 years ago when it comes to stuff like that, and it's, you know, when I see stuff, you know, new things coming out, you know, new shinies and things, and I just think to myself, right, that's nice. I'm glad it's being made, and I'm happy that it's out there for people to have and enjoy and appreciate, but I know that I don't need it, and that helps me not feel like I have to pick up everything that I see and that I like. You know, it's like the current blocky thing. You know, people are going absolutely mental over that, and you know, rightly so. You know, if that's what you're into, that's great. You know, I'm not knocking people for that, but there are some nice pieces, but it's just something that I just don't want to get into. I mean, don't get me wrong, I picked up the Action Edition Prime and Megatron, you know, which are the bigger versions. Yeah, they are nice, but I'm happy with those. I mean, I've really had a bit of turmoil over whether or not to pick up the Soundwave, you know, the Action Edition Soundwave, and I'm erring on the side of not picking it up because I think to myself, you know what, if I pick that up, then it's going to be a case of, right, oh well, there's Starscream, oh there's Prowl, there's just, and I just think to myself, I don't want to do that. Yeah, you know, so I think what I'm going to do is, if I do decide to keep them, I think I'll just keep Prime and Megatron and have it at that. The only thing that I think that will make me well, I'm a hypocrite anyway, I'll put my hand up to that, but the thing that'll cave me in is if they do a robot mode Grimlock in the Action Edition. Which they will, I know they will. I'm hoping that
if you don't want it to come out, it will happen.
Well, that's the thing, it's a double-edged sword. I want it to come out, but I don't want it to come out. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it'll come out and it'll be like, he needs slag and he needs sludge and he needs snarl and he needs swoop, and it's just...
They'll do it as well, you know that.
And therein lies madness. Therein lies complete and utter madness. So, anyway. Brad, with what, sorry? With the blocky thing?
I feel the same with the blockies thing. It kind of, I can see why people love it. It's the building aspect of it. I feel like the building aspect is completely like covered by Gundam in my case, but they look amazing. They're lovely figures, but it kind of screams Creo to me. A couple of years ago, I spent loads of money on the Creo, and I loved it, and it was great, but I ended up just offing it because it was the flash in the pan. Blockies feel like they're a bit more than a flash in the pan. They seem to have a really good thing going, but I don't want that extra collection. Like, I feel like Transformers are covered with the main line. You know, I don't need it, so I'm not going there.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I kind of get and it's something that I am happy to be proved wrong by. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not being negative about it, and like I say, I'm happy to be proved wrong. But I feel with the blockies, it feels like it's something that's just gone too fast and too hard, and you know, it just feels like it might burn itself out too quickly, and people might get a bit, or they just might just run out of, you know. Because I mean, there's been that many of them just released so quickly after succession. You know, there's been like set after set after set, and it's like, well, where are you going with this? You know, I mean, it's like, is it going to be just another fad? You know, are people going to get bored of it? You know, which they might not do. You know, because it seems to be hitting that sweet spot of that cuteness, that you know, the buildability with the kit, but also the cheap price. You know, for some of the smaller sets and that. So who knows? But I'm a bit like that on it. Anyway,
I get it. I'm quite happy to be a spectator in it. And just see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Right, we're at that point now. We're near the end, Brad. So, last one is now. It's if you got something to ask me.
Yeah, I was going to ask you actually. I've always been, since this is the first time we met on. It was TF the show, wasn't it, where we met? I'm proper interested in your Spectrum collection.
All right.
So. I'm kind of interested, like how, because I remember you talking about like reshelling and like having a collection. I'm just kind of interested in how deep you go into like the modding side of things, and whether you sell them or whether it's just like a pure like collection and play kind of thing, and maybe what first got you into it, like how kind of deep do you dive into the Spectrum side of things?
Yeah, there's but there's going to be people watching this that are going to hate you for this question.
I love it.
Right, okay. I'm happy to oblige you, sir. If there's one thing that I enjoy talking about more than Transformers, it's Spectrums. Right, what I will do is then, I will answer your question, but I will answer your question after this brief message.
Cool.
Mask, where illusion is the ultimate weapon.
Convert Switchblade to jet mode. Surprise, Matt Tracker. It's mayhem. Battle station. Protect the decoder, Bruce. I'm going up. Stacks ready to fire.
Mask, Switchblade, Thunderhawk, and Rhino.
Fire!
Each sold separately with action figure.
Cover me, Matt. 10-4. Sato's getting away. But you're not, Mayhem.
Mask, Switchblade, Thunderhawk, and Rhino. Each sold separately. New from Kenner.
Spectrum's got such supervision. Mask is the mighty power that can save the day. Mask, no one knows what lies behind their mad charades. Mask, always riding on Venom's trail. Come see the laser rays. Fight away.
Right, and now we're back. Okay, so yeah, right, you want to know about Spectrums. Here we go. Are you ready, sir? Ready to go down the rabbit hole? Right, so there were quite a few parts that, right. 82, April 82. Well, 23rd of April, to be exact. That's when ZX Spectrum first came out. The street that I grew up on, there was quite a few of us, all roughly around about the same age, and we all had, there were like 3 or 4 of us at Spectrums. One lad had a BBC, the other had a Auric Atmos, an Auric One.
Yeah.
Acorn Electrons. So it were those early 80s were just absolutely amazing for home micros and gaming and stuff like that, because I mean that's really when it kind of like it all kicked off, so we were there for the explosion of it all, because over here we didn't experience the games crash of 83 like what they did in the States. We did have a bit of a one, but it was much later on, basically because there was just what did it more, it wasn't so much the gaming, it was more the fact there was just too many home micros. There were too many, like there were Dragons, there were Atmoses, like I've just seen, there were just so many of them, and people didn't know which one to go for.
Yeah.
So that's when, it's something that's been in my life since 1982. Over the years, I started on a 48K Spectrum, which is... I'm struggling. I'm going to get one of my box ones. Right, this is a 48K Spectrum, but this is... I've put a different keypad on. This is the black keypad that I've put on this one. But this is an original one, apart from the thing.
Okay.
That one went... and then I got a +2, which was the long grey one, which you can actually see part of here. I have this the +2 set up here. And then that went and... did the whole console thing and came out of it. But then it would be... We're about 6 years ago. Been about 2019, something like that. Because I'd always been on like the Spectrum groups on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah. And
I got chatting to a few lads on there and things like that. And I thought, I feel like picking one up. So I just said, has anyone got one going? So anyway, Dan, they call him. He had a couple of boxed ones and a loose one. So I said, I'll take a boxed one and I'll have a loose one as well. I said, because the difference there with the Transformer, between the Spectrum and the Transformer collecting, is the Spectrum collecting is so much cheaper than what the Transformer collecting is. You're so much cheaper. So, I mean, something like that. I mean, you know, an original 48K Spectrum, you know, that works, you know, loose with a power pack, you know, everything you need to have to get it up and running. 30-40 quid, and you're up and running.
Seriously?
Yeah. They're not expensive.
Really
You go on eBay, and the prices that are being charged on eBay are just no, forget it. If you want in a Spectrum or any retro computer like that, go on the groups, go on the Facebook groups, get to know the people, and it's a really good community because they will only charge you. They'll charge you what it's actually worth. They won't inflate the prices. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, if you're struggling for something, they'll help you out and they'll help you try and help you pick it up and stuff like that. So that's how long I've been into it. You know, since '82, dipped out, but about 2019, I came back into it. It was just with one box Spectrum and a loose one. Yeah. And then now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've probably got about 10 box Spectrums.
Nice.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 loose ones.
Yeah, I remember seeing the white one behind you on Transformers, just asking about it. I thought that I think everything looks lovely in white, and that's gorgeous. You said that's a reshell as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that was the other part of your question. Want it reshelling? Right. Okay. So this one, the white one, that's an original 48K board. That's an issue 3 board that's in that one. No, sorry, it's an issue 6, issue 6A that's in this one, and it's like it's a reproduction, if you will, case. So it's a reproduction case, reproduction key mat, and faceplate. Yeah. And then on the back here, you've got this called Smart Card version 3. And it's just basically an interface, and you put all your games on a micro USB card, and you can play. I think on that. On the USB cards, it's the 2 gigs. I've got 2 gigabyte cards in each one. Yeah, and I think I've probably got about maybe a couple of thousand games on each card.
They're tiny, aren't they, storage-wise?
The tiny games. Yeah, so that's like I said, original board in a repro case. Yeah, and I got that one because when were it? Were it 84? I think it was 1984. When Dundee, because that's where they used to be manufactured, up in Dundee back then, when the 1 millionth Spectrum ran off the production line, they made a white one and gifted it to Sir Clive Sinclair to commemorate it. The only difference is on that one, it had a grey keypad, when I went for the all white one, basically because this one's all black. So I've got an all black, I wanted an all white.
All white,
so... But this one is an original. That's an original case. That's an original board. Yeah. That's an issue 3 board that's in that issue 3 board in that original case. It's just that it's got a repro keypad on it. And again, so all my loose Spectrums that have got original motherboards in them all have these interfaces on. Yeah,
it's similar to what I did with the GameCubes.
Yeah. And then this is in 1984. The tarted the case up a bit.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. It's exactly the same inside. It's exactly the same as that one. Yeah, it's the same board in it. It's just that they put a nicer looking case on it. Well, I still prefer the rubber keys myself, but they did this. They put another case on it. Modding. So on all the ones that have got the original motherboards in. I'm sure you're familiar with the term. I did what's called a composite mod. Yeah. So, for people that don't know that are watching, the signal that comes out of this, it's a UHF signal. So basically you used to plug it into the aerial socket at the back of the telly. Yeah. Well, modern TVs now, for some reason, they don't like tuning in to old consoles or old Spectrums like this. So basically, in the UHF modulator that's inside these, the way that the motherboard and the wired up, you can bypass it, and so essentially it's just attaching a wire between the motherboard and the socket here. and it pumps out an AV signal, so you can just attach it to the AV socket on your TV.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, because these old Spectrums have a speaker in them, so all the sound comes out of the Spectrum itself.
Yeah.
So you just need to pump the picture out of the telly. It's different for the Plus 2 and the Toast Rack, which is the 128K, because they have a sound chip, a dedicated sound chip. So so I do the composite mods on them. I'm okay at soldering and wiring and stuff. I'm not brilliant, but I can do it to get by. So it's mod. The biggest mod I did was on an old. Well, you can't see it. It's actually down here, but I've got an empty case just over there. Was an Atari VCS.
Oh, nice.
Because I've got a couple of it. I've got a boxed Atari VCS. I've got a loose one here, and then I've got one over there that's essentially just a display piece because I can't get the bugger working. It's just dead. It won't have it. Yeah. So I've done bits of work on that, so I can get by. So, and I do enjoy that, all the capacitors and resistors and stuff like that, because the composite mods that I've done on these, I did just used to do the wire. It's just basically attach a wire to the motherboard to the socket. But then I'd been doing reading up, and if you put a 16 UHF farads smoothing capacitor, you get a better signal through the TV.
Oh, see, I love stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah, and I did it, and it's so I ended up going back through them all, and I redid them all. Yeah, put these smoothing capacitors on them and stuff like that. This one, the red and black one,
I like that. Yeah,
is so it's got like a red underside and red keys. I really, really want an Oric Atmos.
Okay.
Now, an Oric Atmos back in the day was the top was black, the bottom was red, and it had red keys on it. And it was a 48K machine. It's a beautiful looking microcomputer. But the prices that people are asking for them are just absolutely silly. They're just really, really silly. So, the place where I get all my replacement cases from, I contacted him. I said, bit of an odd question. I says, but can you do me half black, half red? Anyway, he did. He sorted me out. So this is my ZX Spectrum Atmos. So it's like homage to an Atmos. And this is what I have. This one downstairs because I've got a desk downstairs for the kids. They used it for doing the schoolwork on, and I've got this set up downstairs so I can just have a little play about on that. So that's the thing. I've got all the. I mean, they all work. Everyone that I've got works. I test them on a regular basis. I get the old multimeter out and stuff. I mean, I've got my little electrical toolkit and that lot's just down there, and that my soldering irons and stuff. They all work. I've got a couple hundred cassette games. They all work as well.
Nice. Yeah.
I'll test them out, and then obviously you need stuff to load them on the cassette. So I've got a selection of cassette.
Oh, look at those!
Here. These are my cassette players and that. To help load the games. So I'm big on it. Yeah, it's one of those things that I literally could talk for hours on it, and I have to rein myself in, because I am very enthusiastic about it. And that's why I said, people are probably curse you for asking that question, but
that's just good. I share that sentiment about
it's a passion, and it's. Someone did ask me a while back, about if I had to choose one, which would I go with? And I think the Transformers would go before the Spectrums. I think. Yeah. It's not that I prefer the Spectrums over the Transformers. I think it's probably that. I think it's because I suppose really I only had 2 years with Transformers. From 84 to 86. Because by the time 86 came, I was in high school, and it was like, people can't know I'm still playing with toys or I like toys. I think I've got to move on, kind of thing. So I only had 2 years with it, but with the Spectrum and the gaming and stuff, that's still acceptable no matter what age you are. Exactly. So I had that from. Well, it wasn't 82. I mean, I started earlier. My first console, if you will, because it was a console, was a Philips G7000.
Yeah, I remember.
Which over in the States was the Magnavox. I think it was the Odyssey, Magnavox Odyssey, they called it in the States. That was my first.
Not the Bush. Ralph Baer was the one that developed that, wasn't he? I think that was one of the first ones, wasn't it? The Odyssey, one of the very first. It was Magnavox Odyssey.
Yeah, there were the early ones. Yeah, it had like a flat membrane keypad on it.
That's right. Yeah,
which was awful. But it apparently did more popular over in France than what it did in the UK and the States. Okay. Yeah, it was really big over there. Yeah. So I've had, I've more history with this kind of stuff than what I have with Transformers. But it'd be like trying to choose a favourite child. You can't. You can't choose your favourite child. But taking that aspect out of it, I think I've probably more. There's more of my soul in the Spectrum stuff than what there is in the Transformers stuff.
Sounds like you get more out of it as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do have a second channel which is called Spectral Horace.
Oh, I'll have to jump in, mate, and have a look.
That's on Instagram. It's like a second Instagram account that I've got, and that is all my microcomputer and Spectrum and old tech kind of stuff that goes on there.
Ah, wicked.
But because I spend so much time doing posts and stuff with Transformers, I don't get to post much on that, which is ironic, because it's like, it's probably the one that I could spend the most time on, which I have done now. So I will shut up and I will.
No, I love it. Thanks for answering in such detail. Like I said, I share the sentiment with the GameCubes. I love GameCubes. Like, it wasn't my first console; it was my last console, but it was the one that kind of resonated the most with me, and it failed massively at the time. A bit like the Dreamcast. I love Dreamcast as well, but it didn't do well at all. But now people look back on it like, that was a really good console. Like all the clear case mods have started coming out. The mod chips are plenty. The picture, getting a decent HD picture out of it, thankfully, is quite easy because they got the digital ports on the back. The first model has. Yeah. So they've just released in the last couple of years digital to HDMI cables for it and adapters, so it's easy to do. You don't need to do the big soldering jobs anymore. So it's like in its prime, the GameCube, if anything. I love it. So it's fun to mod and light up the clear cases and things like that.
I might have to check that out. Because, like I said, I did enjoy playing on the GameCube. It was just a fun little machine, and I've got a Wii as well.
They're brilliant for it.
Yeah, the only regret I've got with the Wii is, you see, I got that when it first came out, and I got the white one, because it was like the white console. Yeah. And then when the black one came out, I thought, oh, black, got black, get it in black. And literally within half an hour of getting out of the box, and it was just scratched to hell.
Oh, no, because it's shiny surface.
Yeah, because it's just that highly gloss black. Yeah. And it just scratches. And it's just, and it looks awful now, but again, it's packed away. It don't get played on. The one that I would like, a friend had one, and we used to play on it all the time. And I mean, he lives over in Skipton now, so he's moved far away. But he used to just live around the corner, and we play on it all the time. Is the Wii U, and I loved that machine.
It was really underrated. They just did a really bad marketing job on it. It was fantastic.
I loved it. Brilliant. If I could find one at a good price in good condition, I think I would get one, and it would be Luigi's Mansion on that. I love that.
It's brilliant. Yeah,
it was brilliant. Because you play your character on the handheld console, and the others are on the TV screen. Yeah, and then it was it Nintendo Land, the packing game that came with it.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah,
it was the Metroid Prime game in that. Yeah. That was awesome. And then the Link one, where you go around and you just firing arrows. Yeah. Those are the ones that I could play for hours on. Yeah.
It's because the mechanics of them worked so well, didn't they? They just really worked well, and it wasn't so much addictive, but they were just fun and felt good. I found the games like that, like the Metroid one.
I completely agree with you, and that's how I've always looked at it. I mean, I've had my PlayStations, I've had the Xboxes, and I've had the GameCube, and I've had the Wii, And I had a NES back in the day.
Yeah.
I only had it for a year, and then I sold it basically because the games were just too expensive. You know,
Yeah, they
it
were,
was 80. We're 80. I think it was 86. What did it hit here in the UK? Oh no, it was later. No, it was 88.
It was 87, 88, I think, because I remember seeing them coming out. So it would have been when I was about 4 or 5. I remember going over a mate's house and him having one for his birthday. So yeah, it would have been around then.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It would about 85. They dropped in the States, wasn't it? I think they had them a couple of years before we got them over there. Yeah, because it was playing the Turtles and stuff. Yeah. So I've had all the variety consoles and things like that, but the way my opinion's always been that PlayStation's, Xbox and stuff like that, they're good for gaming and to enjoy.
Yeah.
But the Nintendo's it's always been fun. Yeah,
definitely.
You know, and you know, and I don't think you can beat it for that. And I just wish that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but because I don't have any, you know, really recent experience of Nintendo and stuff, but I think that Nintendo kind of could do so much more with it.
Yeah, they don't license out as much, I think, and they keep a lot of things in house. It's not what it used to be. Gaming in general, I think. I miss a lot of the old day, even like the 360 times, the PS3 times. I think is very different from that now, and that isn't that long ago. It's just kind of lost a bit of soul, I think, is the way I'd sum it up.
Yeah. I agree. So, right then. Anyway, we're at the end, Brad. That's it. So it's that time where, because I forgot to ask you at the beginning, I am getting senile in my old age. So, would you like to take this opportunity to tell people where they can find you on the socials and stuff?
Yeah, of course. YouTube, I'm ExillionXLR. That's just Exillion, the name of the Galaxy Force character with XLR at the end, because I loved a show called Megas XLR on Cartoon Network in the early 2000s. I just do Transformers videos. I haven't done any for a while, but I'm sure I'll be back at some point. Same name on Instagram. Transformers pictures, GameCube pictures, just general stuff on there. And those are the two places I'm most active, I suppose. But yeah, check them out if you want.
Yeah, I'll shove links. Even though I forgot to ask you at the beginning, I'll shove links up at the beginning, so you know people will know. And then obviously this recap now. But yeah, this is the second time I've done it, because I'm pretty sure the one that I recorded before you, I forgot to ask it. You know, I'm just sort of like, it's just going, but not to worry. So, right, anyway, Brad, thank you very much indeed for agreeing to come on and chatting with me. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been a great chat, and all been well, we'll hook up soon and have another chat.
I'd love that. It's been fantastic. Thanks for having me on. Really enjoyed it, mate. Really made my night. It's been a busy day, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed gassing about things that we both enjoy. Games, toys, and all that kind of stuff. I've always got time for it. So yeah, I feel proper relaxed now and a bit more laid back after just after you've asked a million questions all day about my children. Just having a good old gabble about toys and things you enjoy, soothes the soul a little bit. So yeah, thanks for having me, mate. It's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure.
No, I appreciate it. Right, thank you. You take care, Brad, and we'll catch you soon. All right.
Thanks, Ed.
All the best. See you later.
See you, mate.
How forceful you are, Brad. Such a perfect specimen of manhood. So dominant.
Thank you for watching the Collector's Archive. To ensure you never miss any of our content, please select the like, subscribe, and notification icons. Folds of Viacom.